Everyone knows Slenderman.
Slenderman.
Tall, pale, and of course, slender.
The most iconic horror character ever.
To most of the world, he's just a fictional character known in games, movies, and TV shows. A shadow born on the internet, standing just far enough in the background to make you question if he was even really there.
A tall, faceless monster.
The most iconic creepypasta.
Let's talk about this creepy lanky dude.
Video games, shows, and movies.
Everyone on the internet is trying to play it right now.
Slenderman is an iconic creepypasta legend.
But it's all just fiction, right?
911, what's the address of your emergency?
Came upon a 12-year-old female. She appears to be stabbed.
Well, this story is much more disturbing than that. A story about how fiction crosses over with reality.
He's faceless, often portrayed in a dark suit.
Where something imaginary can start to feel alive. How 3 girls entered a forest, and one didn't end up so lucky. Fiction can shape reality if you let it. The year is 2009, and it's the golden age of the internet. It was a time when the web still felt unexplored and unpredictable, something that went from a tool to an entire living ecosystem. Message boards exploded with users, memes were being born overnight, and YouTube skyrocketed from a small video site into one of the most iconic pieces of internet culture. Before algorithms and corporations were running the show, people created the rules. A single image, a funny video, or even a creepy photo buried in a forum thread. Any tiny action could explode in popularity, reaching millions of people. It was a new chaotic era, but it was unpredictable and exciting. And amongst this excitement was a user, someone that would change everything forever.
Who's Slenderman?
He's this tall, faceless man who preys on children.
Ever met him?
Not exactly.
Tucked away in a small corner of the internet was a community forum by the name of Something Awful. After being created in 1999, used mainly for comedy, memes, and social interaction, Something Awful exploded in the early 2000s, being one of the most active, chaotic, and influential forums ever. That being said, little did people know this website would soon become the birthplace of a legend. On June 10th, 2009, a Photoshop contest by the name of Create Paranormal Images appeared on the forum. The challenge was harmless and the rules were simple. Users would take normal photos and edit in supernatural elements to make them look real. And believe it or not, people loved the idea of this. As more and more people submitted their images, the thread continued to fill up with creative and creepy creations. They weren't just pictures and images, but instead, they were small fictional stories, each with their own made-up short background from the designated creator, displaying the imagination from the users of Something Awful. That was when an account by the name of Victor Surge would upload 2 images. These are the first ever recorded images and mention of Slenderman. People of the forum adored this, and within hours, other users from all over the internet began adding their own images, stories, and eyewitness accounts of Slenderman, turning Surge's invention into a massive legend. It was extremely clear that Slenderman stood out from the rest of the creation. There was something about his tall, creepy nature that people couldn't get enough of, and within days, Slenderman swallowed the thread whole. With all this going on, it didn't take long for Slenderman's influence to escape the Something Awful forum and bleed into the wider internet. Soon, Slenderman would make appearances on horror sites like creepypasta.com, a website where only the internet's most disturbing fictional characters stay. And it was at this point where the more modern depiction of Slenderman started to take shape. He was no longer just a foggy concept loosely tied together by dozens of users on the internet, but now a recognizable character. A tall figure sparsely seen in the woods, hidden and glimpsed behind trees wearing a suit, bald, pale, and faceless. Slowly, he solidified his spot as an internet horror figure. But this was all just the beginning for him. Because just days after Slenderman was created on the Something Awful forum, 3 film students inspired by the post decided to make a YouTube horror series, a collection of corrupted creepy tapes that would show him for who he really is. And this was huge. With YouTube still young and unknown, its sudden rise became the perfect fuel for Slenderman's explosion. And Troy Wagner, Joseph Delage, and Tim Sutton were going to take advantage of this. They were going to bring Slenderman to life.
Are we gonna do it again?
In a way, these 3 students made Slenderman who he is today. Victor Surge had invented the idea, but they defined him into a character. They showed his abilities, behavior, and shaped him into the figure he is. And as fictional as the footage was, it felt real. It blurred the lines between a fable and reality. The video entries were recorded raw and seemed disturbingly genuine. There was no editing, no disclaimers, and no explanations, just pure footage. Fans treated the videos like evidence. They made theories, decoded messages, tracked clues, and even hunted for the meanings in every single glitch. It was clear that something extraordinary was going on here. People were coming together to make something fake real. It was creative and creepy, but most importantly, it was fun. And that's all that seemed to matter.
It's here at Brian's house. Brian is somewhere. I don't know where. I wasn't paying attention for you.
With season 3 of the series coming to a beginning in 2012, it was clear that Slenderman had made his presence known on the internet. He was absolutely everywhere, and practically everyone online knew about him. His fame was indeed no secret. Just only a few months later, Slenderman would soon once again be reanimated, because it wouldn't take long for him to receive his own game. From Parsec Productions came Slenderman, the 8 pages.
I don't know, I saw something, man!
At first glance, it didn't look like much. It wasn't exactly the highest quality game or the most depth in terms of story. Just you, a flashlight, and a dark forest filled with 8 pages you had to collect. But this minimalism is exactly what made the game so popular. You see, nothing like this had ever been released at the time. This concept of collecting items while something was possibly after you was pretty much entirely new, and the amount of games that would try to replicate this in the future was huge. This game is what officially cemented Slenderman. It's absolutely no understatement to say that this game reinvented horror gaming as a whole. Although it might not have been Slenderman's first game, it was widely regarded as one of the creepiest and most popular games at the time. This was Slenderman's peak.
The website where the game was
was supposed to be hosted is down, probably because everyone on the internet is trying to play it right now. I mean, people have been saying this is like the scariest game they've ever seen in their entire life, or something like that. Slender, I don't know.
The way he stalked you behind trees, the static effects on the screen, it was all perfect. There was no music, no ambience, just the sound of your crunching footsteps in the endless woods. Shortly after the game was released to the public, YouTubers immediately took hold of it, and within days, the reaction videos and Let's Plays flooded the site, even going as far as to boost small channels at the time, like PewDiePie or Markiplier. Everyone was playing, everyone was watching.
Literally, people have been messaging me day and night, writing in every comment of every video I've ever posted since Slender got released to play Slender. So, welcome!
Slenderman wasn't just shaping YouTube gaming culture, but also the entire landscape of indie horror games.
Do I run?
From 2012 to 2013, Slenderman would reach his all-time high, a high made by not a single person, but a collective of people. The internet had come together not to create a character, but an icon. And it was only at this point where everything started to come together. Everything started to unfold and make sense. 5 years of loosely constructed fiction created by multiple people began to unravel. You see, this whole time, Slenderman's entire concept was based on something pretending to be real. Things like creepy photos claiming to be genuine, or eerie videos supposedly authentic. It was all fabrication with the goal of seeming true. But now, people were going to summon the unfortunate fate that they imagined. The barrier between the realm of fiction and reality wasn't just starting to blur, but it was going to be torn apart completely, allowing something horrible to soon cross through it. And that's exactly when it was crossed. Waukesha, a suburban city just west of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. A city where everything would go down. In the spring of 2014, 3 12-year-old friends would get together. Classmates. These girls had known each other for months, nearly a year. They shared classes, conversations, and even had sleepovers from time to time. It was middle school. But just like many other kids their age, they were curious, driven to online content, drawn to stories that scared them, intrigued by characters found on the internet. Characters like Slenderman.
There's this website called the Creepypasta Wiki. Okay. It's full of horror stories that are meant to have purposely scary.
In the beginning, it was just fiction, nothing more than a creepy character online to talk about. But something was brewing mentally in the children's heads, something deep down. A confusion between imagination and certainty.
He has these proxies or servants, as people call them. Okay.
By the end of May 2014, Slenderman was no longer confined to forums, videos, or games.
Said, hey, Anissa, we should be proxies. I was like, okay, how would you do that? And that was around...
Because Morgan Geyser and Anissa Weir believed he was real. They were going to sacrifice their friend, Peyton.
Slenderman?
Slenderman?
Slenderman.
Oh, Slenderman. 60 guys.
Sure, Slenderman was no doubt a creepy character. Tall, pale, and faceless. A creature designed to unsettle you. But perhaps the scariest part about this whole situation, the thing that changed everything forever, was that these two girls genuinely believed in the existence of Slenderman. They were susceptible. It wasn't fiction to them. The act that they were about to commit wasn't impulsive. It wasn't done in a moment of anger or panic, but it was thought out and planned. Planned for almost a year.
And that was around end of December, beginning of January.
This is how Slenderman came to life, how fiction leaked into reality through the minds of these children.
Who's Slenderman?
He's this tall, faceless man who preys on children.
Ever met him?
Not exactly.
It all happened on the morning of a sleepover. Morgan and Anissa had already been talking about Slenderman for months now.
Tell me about him.
He has tendrils that are very sharp.
They read up on the creepypasta website, they watched videos, they were prepared to execute the plan. And to do so, they were going to need to isolate Peyton.
He was my only friend for a long time because
Why was your friend your only friend?
it was necessary.
By the time they left the house, the decision had already been made. The two girls believed that they needed to prove their loyalty and devotion to Slenderman in order to become his servants.
I said, I'm scared. I was told that if I didn't do something, my family would be in danger.
After convincing Peyton to take a walk near the woods with them, everything had been set up. They were afraid that if they didn't do what he desired, then he could take out their families. Once they were finally alone and secluded, Morgan would take out a knife and slowly raise it. They needed to prove that they could be his, and to do so, they would have to take extreme measures. Morgan positioned the knife. And that day, Peyton was stabbed 19 times. But the story wasn't over just yet. The two girls would immediately leave the scene, not sprinting, not running, but walking.
So we told her we were gonna get help, but we really weren't. We were gonna run and let her pass away.
You see, the next part of their plan was crucial. They had packed a bag of supplies and were headed to what they believed to be Slenderman's mansion. Unbeknownst to them, Peyton had astonishingly survived and was making her way out of the woods and on to a nearby trail, where she would soon be spotted by a biker and the authorities would be called.
Came upon a 12-year-old female. She appears to be stabbed.
She appears to be what?
Stabbed.
Stabbed?
Correct.
Okay, stay with her. We're sending the police department. Don't hang up, okay?
Hours later in the day, the girls were discovered by a sheriff walking down Interstate 94. When questioned, they confessed to the attack and were immediately taken into custody at the Waukesha Police Department. There, they would be interrogated. When asked why they did it, why everything happened, they claimed it was to please Slenderman.
When investigators asked why they did it, they both had the same answer: Slenderman.
Morgan's house would be searched, where investigators discovered a disturbing fixation with Slenderman. There was drawings and violent scenes, writings that blurred fiction with reality, even malformed toys. Morgan was sent to a mental health institute, while Anissa was given 25 years in juvenile custody. Hayden survived and would eventually make a full physical recovery. In the very end, Slenderman was never real, but the fear, the obsession, the belief, that was. What started as a simple story online, a character created by Photoshop but shaped by many people, an internet horror icon, became something that blurred the lines between imagination and real life. So I guess that's the terrifying truth. Fiction can shape reality if you let it. These are the first two ever recorded images of Slenderman. I have an algebra test in the morning.